how to keep going and win, not just drudge through, not just stay in the game, but to keep going and win when the going gets tough on your weight loss journey. What is your typical response when things get tough? What do you think? What goes through your head when stuff starts to happen? The job gets busy. Your husband starts bringing home junk food. Your kids insist on keeping junk food. What goes through your head when that happens? If you're rolling along good, and then all of a sudden stuff starts to happen, what is the conversation going on in your head when that happens? For most of us, we think, oh no, like this is not cool. Things were going along good, and now this stuff is happening. Like most of us think, let's just be honest, we think, oh, this sucks. Like, no, not again, right? And I want to encourage you to have a slightly different response. And I'm reading a book, it's called The Way of the Seal by Michael Devine. And in that book, it suggested that in life, you either seek challenges or you avoid them. When you seek challenges, you become stronger and more able to overcome challenges. When you avoid challenges, they find you and they overtake you. And I first thought, I don't know. But the book really hit a nerve with me because I was kind of experiencing that. I was talking to my husband, telling him, I think I need to shake things up. I need to do something different. Maybe I need to compete again or enter an obstacle course race again because I feel like I'm just getting kind of weak. And he looked at me like, what do you mean? You train every day. What do you mean you're getting weak? And my answer was mentally, I don't feel as sharp or as strong as I felt before. I think I need to shake things up. And so the book actually addresses that. And so here's the thing that you need to know, you guys. So when the going gets tough, I'm going to share with you, there are many things, but there are 5 things that I want you to think about and that I want you to begin to practice to be able to keep going, not just keep going, but to keep going and to win. The first thing you need to do is you need to calm down. Oftentimes, the reason why you need to calm down is because oftentimes the things that are in our way, the obstacles that we're facing, they're challenging, but we make them worse, we make them bigger, we make them almost insurmountable by our reaction to them, by the emotion, not that comes, because emotion will come, but the emotion that we allow to stay around what's going wrong. We don't take control of our emotions and our thoughts, and it takes us completely out of our power. And it's no wonder why the challenges or the obstacles take us out, because if we don't calm down, we stand no chance of doing the other things that I'm going to share. Number 2 is you need to reconnect or reestablish or maybe even refine your why. Why in the world are you doing this? Why do you care? Why is it a worthwhile endeavor? Why did you begin in the first place? And here's the thing you need to know. Reconnecting with or redefining your why, if your why is not strong enough, is single-handedly the only thing that will keep you in the game long enough to get through the tough time. The only thing that will keep you in the game long enough to win is you have to know why you care. Honestly, it's like, why does this matter? Why is this worth going through the challenge and coming out on the other side of it? And so you guys, you probably know, if you've ever started a weight loss program in order to be healthy and feel good in your clothes, those really vague whys, you probably know that that's not enough, right? In the face of a cookie, in the face of maybe staying up late at night with the kids and having to decide whether or not to still do your workout in the morning, in the face of more substantial obstacles and challenges, that to look good in my clothes and feel healthy does not hold water. It does not stand up. I've done it myself, and I've coached people who resisted the initial exercise of digging deep and finding their real why. And the minute it was no longer convenient, the minute the tiniest little obstacle came, like they faltered because their why, their want to was not deep enough to keep them rooted when things got tough. Number 3, dive into the symptoms to identify the real problem. So if the symptoms are, I'm missing my workouts, if the symptoms are, my food is not on point, I'm not getting my protein, I'm not getting my veggies, if the symptoms are, I'm eating all the things I'm supposed to and I'm exercising. However, I'm also eating a ton of sweets too. If the symptoms are I'm doing everything right, but I'm not getting the rest that I need to recover and to make good choices, whatever the symptoms are not the problem. Okay? The thing that you're doing or not doing is not the real problem. It's just the symptom of a deeper problem. So dive into the symptom, and you've probably guessed it, by asking yourself why. Why am I also eating sweets on top of everything I need? Why do I keep skipping protein? Why do I keep skipping my workout? Dive into those symptoms by asking why, so that you can get to the root. What is the real problem? Because here's the thing. If you just keep addressing symptoms, you're mowing the grass, right? And so you know how grass works. It comes back up. If you want to completely annihilate this obstacle, you want to rock it, you want to mow over this challenge, you need to get to the real problem. So dive into the symptoms. Those are the things that let you know there's a problem to get to the real problem. Number 4 is, do you need to dial it back or do you need to turn it up? And by it, I mean your approach, right? So if you keep missing your workouts, right, that's the symptom, and you dive deep to find the real problem, maybe the real problem is that you're exhausted. Maybe the real problem is that you're overscheduled. Maybe the real problem is you don't like working out. Whatever the real problem is, so now, armed with that real problem, decide if you need to dial back your approach or if you need to turn it up. So here's an example. If you find that you keep skipping your workouts and the problem is you're just exhausted and you're sore and you're dreading it all, and you went from not working out at all to working out hardcore 6 days per week, then I think that just possibly you need to dial it back. Maybe you took on too much too fast. Maybe what's more reasonable is to move every day and to train hard 3 days per week and to get that win under your belt consistently so that you could kind of increase your motivation, you increase your momentum, and then you could build from there. That's an example of when maybe you need to dial it back. An example of maybe when you need to turn it up is, let's say that, you've done this healthy eating thing before. You're eating everything you need to, but you're also adding sweets like all the time for no good reason. And you just feel like it. You don't know. It's just happening. Well, maybe the problem is that you're not all that motivated right now. Maybe the problem is that you're not used to challenging yourself. Maybe the problem is that you're not used to holding your own feet to the fire to follow through on your promises. So that's a case where maybe you need to dial it up. Maybe you need to, as the book, The Way of the Seal suggests, bring the challenge or take yourself to the challenge. Maybe you need to decide that for, the next 3 days, you're not going to eat between meals. You're going to eat your meals and that's it. Whether it's healthy or not, whether it's just pickles or just cucumbers, you're not going to do it because you're at a point where you need to dial it up. You need to expose yourself to discomfort and overcome that discomfort so that you get used to doing that. So that's an example, guys, of number 4. The 5th thing you want to do is you want to take purposeful action based on what you discovered. Now it's time to do something, right? Because everything else that we did was in your head. But here's the thing. You do not win the battle in your head. Kind of. You win it in your head first, but after you win it in your head, it's like visualization. Now you have to take it from the mental space into the actual physical space. You need to manifest some of this. So you need to do something. So take purposeful action again and again. So in my example, with the needing to dial it back, maybe I dial it back to 3 hardcore workouts and movement the other days, and now I hold my feet to the fire. I've dialed it back. I've made it more attainable. I've made it make more sense for where I am in my journey. And now I hold my feet to the fire and I do it. I do the work again and again and again and again and again. And before I know it, I have momentum, I have motivation. And guess what? All of a sudden, the going is not tough anymore because I'm doing the work. And because I'm doing the work, I'm getting the results. And because I'm getting the results, I'm motivated, which makes me want to do the work more. And that is how I pull myself out of that rut. That is how I keep going to win when the going gets tough. And then the final tip, and I'm out, guys, is a bonus. Just check your attitude. Check your attitude throughout all of this. Okay? So when we feel sorry for ourselves, when we feel like it's not fair, can I just be honest? When we approach it from an entitled standpoint where things should be easier, it should not be this hard. I should have lost X by now. I should not have to work this hard. When we approach weight loss from an entitled standpoint, the whole journey is miserable. When we approach it from a grateful standpoint, from a standpoint where we're excited that we can actually do this, where we're excited to even be alive, where we're excited to even be able to have this choice to do this, the whole thing is a lot more tolerable, and in some cases, we could even make it enjoyable. So while you're doing all of this, check your attitude. Because even with all of this, if you have the wrong attitude, it will absolutely take you out.